Twitch, testing the audio. We're streaming on Twitch. Maybe we're streaming on Twitch. Is the stream ever going to start? There we go. We have audio. Excellent. All right. And Demento Radio now. And recording in 3, 2, 1.
Recorded live on DementoRadio.org, it's the Funny Music Podcast. Brought to you by FuMP.com, where you can download new free comedy songs twice a week. Now, here's your hosts, Devo Spice and the great Luke Ski.
Hey, Devo Spice!
Hey, Luke Ski!
Dead by 28 is here!
Hey, Luke Ski. Hey, Devo.
Dead by 28 in the house. And also Luke! Luke is here! You have to make noise or it doesn't go to you. That's better.
Hey, Luke.
All right. Welcome to episode 655 of the Funny Music Podcast for, I can't see the date. I can't move the thing. For January 5th, 2023. The title of this week's episode is Attractive Tree Scale. And we'll put that in the chat so you can try to work that into our conversations later in the show. So, New Year. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
New Year is such a non-holiday for me. I just don't care at all.
We went to bed at the same time we always go to bed. We have a 5-year-old, so we just put on YouTube the ball dropping from last year.
Oh yeah,
and bed at whatever time, 8, 9.
I think they have one of those on Netflix too, so you can just queue it up whenever.
Yep.
All right, let's do the catch-up thingy.
Let's get caught up with what Devo and Luke have been up to since last week. Or else Devo, if Luke failed and didn't show up.
Hey!
What?
No, he's right.
So, Luke, what you been up to?
Well, I wrote a song, that's for damn sure.
You did?
But we'll talk about that later. So yeah, the antibiotics I was taking did their job and kicked the crap out of the sinus infection and got it out of my head. And then I came back to California and got to work, and basically the way California operates is that you'll have about 1,300 days in a row where there's no rain, and then about 10 days where it's all the rain. So that's basically what it's been since I got back, and it's just been annoying because it's not even like it's consistently always raining. Like pretty much every day I went to work this week, I would step out of the apartment and it would be sunny or just in general just not bad. I'd get in my car and I drive to work, and by the time I'd get to work and start delivering, suddenly it's all overcast and drizzling and raining, and I'm standing there without an umbrella getting soaked, and it's just stupid. So that was a thing. And then my roommate Santana, who is not here at the moment, has decided that she would like a pet of her own, and apparently the pet that has been decided upon is Snick. So soon the apartment will have a Snick. And when
how is Qbert going to deal with this?
Well, here's the thing. Think about that video game Qbert. What's the primary antagonist of the game Qbert?
Yep, I didn't even make that connection.
Yeah, it is a snake named Coily that is curled up into a spring and jumps around after him. So she has at least initially said that she is willing to name the snake Coily.
That's great.
So we saw a snake at and that's another thing. When Carrie and Alex last time they were out visiting, we were driving all over the valley trying to find places that we heard where there were wild animals you could go see just chilling. So we went to the library because we heard there were lizards out there, and we saw a couple, but nothing that great. And then we were trying to find neighborhoods that had peacocks wandering around and parrots and stuff like that. We basically had trouble finding nature. So Santana, we go to this pet shop called Scales and Tails, just like probably a mile away from my apartment, and there's like a crazy assortment of all kinds of lizards and amphibians and creatures inside this pet store. It's like we could have just gone here. It was kind of mind blowing. So I added that to a mental list of places to go to when next time they come and visit. But we went there. We went to another parrot store, and then today we actually drove out to a different lizard store where she bought a used terrarium at a good price. And Saturday is some kind of nifty like lizard show. Apparently there's a lizard convention or something on Saturday. So she wants to go check out that convention, but one way or another by like Monday she'll figure out which specific snake she wants to get and get it and bring it home. So there will be a snake in the apartment, which usually about once a year if things are, normal, Stephanie comes visit me. So I told Stephanie about this, and Stephanie is not happy. She can't deal with being in the same living quarters as a snake that will be in a terrarium, apparently. So she's just going to have to deal if she wants to come visit, apparently. So that's a thing. And then today, after we picked up the discount terrarium, I got in my car and I turned the key and it wouldn't start, even though it was just running a few minutes earlier. And it's basically the same that happened to me a few months ago when I was out delivering stuff like 90 minutes away from here. And suddenly, like, the battery didn't have any power and the thing wouldn't turn over and blah, blah, blah. So I had to have it jumped. And then I got back to the apartment to drop off the terrarium. And then when I went out to get in my car again to drive it to the dealership, it again wouldn't start. So I had to call roadside assistance and have somebody come out and jump it so I could get it over to the dealership. So they're going to look at it, and I'll find out, I guess, tomorrow morning what's wrong with it and how long it'll take to fix and how much that'll cost. And I don't know where that money is going to come from, but I'll figure that out tomorrow, I guess. So it turns out I'm going to have to miss my work shift tomorrow, but that's fine because I have I have to finish up a couple of animatics, and also I have that gig tomorrow night. And even if my car isn't ready, Kyle and Lindsay can give me a ride out to the gig. So yeah, it's just a lot of bleh. And just trying to deal with reality. So I spent New Year's Eve literally like at my apartment with Qbert. I looked for a stream of some kind of live New Year's countdown in the LA area, and I found one that said it was happening at Disneyland, and I went to it thinking it was like an official Disney stream of some kind, and it was just like some dude at some event happening, I'm assuming at the Anaheim Convention Center, and they had the people in the proper Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Goofy costumes there, so it was an actual Disney event, but it wasn't an official Disney stream. It was just some random dude streaming this DJ doing whatever. So nice. That was my eventful New Year's, watching a Disney stream with my cat, because I'm social. So, were you with the Mario Karts?
I was not with the Mario Karts. I was actually working on FuMP stuff that had to get done, and I actually did not get to play Mario Kart. I did get to play Mario Kart on Christmas Eve, so I'm not going to count that. But I did not play Mario Kart on New Year's Eve this year, and I feel bad about it. Especially since those new tracks are out and they're awesome.
They are awesome.
But I did get to go to Great Adventure on Friday. That was fun. Front Row and Superman, totally worth it. That was great. And I got to ride this other.
Is that the one where like
they put you in a seat and then it leans you forward, so you're like you're
like in your flying position.
Yeah.
Like, woo, okay, cool.
Yeah, it's fun. And I also got to go on this other ride that I'd never been on before. It's called Cyborg Spin, because everything is DC based now. But it's one of these things where, have you ever seen those, like, I don't know if it's a gyroscope or what, but it's like it's got things that flip in 3 different axes. So this thing flips this way, then the thing holding that flips this way, and then the thing holding that flips this way. and the thing in the middle ends up going like this because it's flipping in all three directions. Well, that's where you sit on one of those. So, so you're just flipping upside down and just really weird positions. That was fun. Way too short of a ride, but it was fun. Last week was my first week back at work. That sucked. I hated it. Like Tuesday morning, I logged in, and the first thing I did was I texted a couple of coworkers, and I was like, are we really doing this? And they're like, yeah, he took the words out of our mouth. This was like the longest week, and there's still one more day. And not much else has been going on. I'm trying to get moving on some FuMP projects and stuff for the new year, and it's like I've been working on FuMP 96. That's in good shape, so I'm hoping to get that done this weekend. But other than that, not much is going on. I took Connor to the DMV today, passed his written test. He has a permit now. Now I got to get him behind the wheel and actually teach him how to drive, and then he can get a license too. So that'll be fun.
It's like the other day, Shoebox posted a thing about Steve, like turning 18 and starting college, and I meant to respond to this, but I didn't because I was just busy. I just wanted to respond and say, I believe you're mistaken. Steve is a small child who I used to like help pick up and like bounce around on couches and have a fun time. And Steve is clearly not an 18-year-old going to college. You need to rewrite this entire post and correct your inaccuracies because that is not what Steve is. I have just no.
Yep. Yep. Connor is also an 18-year-old in college, so. And I think the last time you saw him, he was about yay big.
Pretty much, yeah.
So, all right. So, Dead by 28. What have you guys been up to?
Well, I've been doing a mad crash session of getting that video together, but we'll talk about that later. Other than that, just trying to get through the holidays.
How'd that go?
It went all right. Everybody in my family was recovering from sickness, so we were just happy that we had cleared the okay to get together with people like 2 days before Christmas Eve. So the 2 weeks beforehand were terrible, but the holidays weren't so bad.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that new strain of COVID that's going around is just ripping through everybody.
Just when you think it's gone, it's back with a vengeance.
It's never going away.
No.
I took 2 COVID tests just to be sure. Like one before I left California and one when I got to Wisconsin. And like, nope, didn't have COVID. I not that I'm going to go out of my way to do stupid things, that would have me catch COVID, but I just kind of feel like I'm impervious to COVID because everybody else has caught it except me.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, and then I spent an hour shouting into somebody else's face at a nightclub, and then turned out she had COVID, and that's how I got it. So, so you guys posted a song.
We did.
And so give us a quick intro, and we'll play the video for it.
It's about, it's a parody of Jump. It's about the FuMP.
It's got everybody on it from the FuMP. It's got everybody in this video is in it. It's got Bad Beth. It's got the COG. It's got the great Luke Ski, and of course the wonderful Devo Spice. So hopefully this FuMP anthem is something that other people enjoy because it was definitely fun for us to make.
All right, here is Filthy Underground Music Parody by Dead by 28.
FuMP! FuMP! You should know that Devo Spice ain't got anything to say, at least not till the second verse. FuMP! FuMP! The great Luke is on the FuMP! FuMP! Devo Spice is on the FuMP! FuMP! 28 is on the FuMP! FuMP! Don't try to share us with your average comedy music fan. We're Dead by 28 and I'm the motherfucking biz man. We'll make you click away from our mentioned music, cause the lyrics I spit are gonna make you sick. I'm sick, so sick,
was really funny. The DEVOSPICE, yeah, you know me. I did a song about my strong and then it won a run by Cat C. On the site, so many hit songs struck. Almost 100 songs and only 3 of them suck. That's a better ratio for anything you know that you did. You know you love it, don't be saying that it's stupid. Got Doctor Who on a song, I'm a clever nerd. And no mumbles, you can understand every word. Should be apparent since I paid the royalty. The Devo runs the FuMP.
Power Saddle's on the Carrie Dolby's on the Tom Smith is on the the COG is on the Bone Cage is on the Steve Oakey's on the The thing about doing a collab, I can't let Devo Spice make me look bad. So for all the fuckers who wanna know how I flow, check it out. Comedy and a crime, but a rhyme like this is. Comedy and a crime, but a rhyme like this is. Comedy and a crime, but a rhyme like this is. And now I come to find I'm the land. 'Cause I'm the dish. I'm demented in the land, man. Yes, man. I'm demented in the land. 'Cause I'm the dish. I'm demented in the land, man. Yes, man. I'm demented in the land, and I'm hanging with the Sudden Death is on the S28 is on the This man is on the Your mom is on the
Two Sleeps is on the Mikey Mason's on the Belial Rats are on the Joe J. Thomas on the
Sissy Schniss is on the Shotgun is on the Keymaster's on the Bluebeard is on the
Bill Jones is on the Robert London's on the Library Barton on the Keely Dwyer's on the
Laura Mayer is on the Jeff Whitfire's on the Mike Cratch is on the Al Goldner on the
Todd Chappelle is on the Dynamite is on the
Oh, Jesus Christ! Oh, thank God it's over.
and about 600 other artists who have names that are too hard to pronounce or have too many goddamn syllables.
I tried fitting nuclear bubble wrap in, I just couldn't say it fast enough.
So I always wondered what the rest of your band looked like. That was neat.
Yeah, nice.
We were the biggest disappointment in the video for me is that we weren't able to get our drummer Bluebeard into it. We left a spot open in the video. Had he turned in even a picture, we could have gotten him into the video, but he's a sessions drummer and he was pretty busy, so we couldn't get any video footage to add.
Yeah, that sucks. Oh well. You don't have any photos of him from
Maybe-
like back in the day or anything?
We couldn't find him. The last time he played a show with us was in 2008. So he's played shows with us live in the past, but you know, now he's a sessions guy and we don't have any recent photos of him.
Oh,
He's
okay.
a mystery man.
He's a
Mystery.
mystery drummer. So what made you guys decide to do this song?
What did this make us decide? Well, you know, we got into the Dr. Demento group, and then we got into like that whole FuMP thing, and we were already like kind of working on this song because we like the song, but we're like, let's make it a parody instead. And like it would be perfect because like jump rhymes with FuMP. It just seemed like to make sense, and it just seemed like a fun idea to do like a big collab with like as many people, especially Devo Spice, because like I don't want to like be all like on your shit, but like I'm a pretty big Devo Spice fan, and
Well, I
so it just
appreciate
seemed
that.
like fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, this song was kind of on the nose when we were going back and forth with you about what we wanted to do as a collaboration, if we could get you involved. We didn't think that this one, would pique your interest, even though it's, FuMP and Jump just seems like a no-brainer. We thought it was too obvious or somebody else might have done it, but it was apparently a great way to get Devo Spice on a track. And once we got you on the track, it was like everything else just fell into place with your help.
I don't mean
thought it
to
was a
burst
great
your
idea for
bubble
the
or
beginning.
anything, but it's not hard to get me on a track.
That's bullshit.
But it's funny.
I know for a fact that Metallica tried to get you on a track, and you would not do it.
Well, yeah, I do have standards. So,
But it harkens back to when the FuMP first started.
Yeah, I was just going to bring that up. Yeah, go ahead. You say it.
Because it was January 2nd of 2007, so we just had our 16th anniversary, and we were kicking around a bunch of ideas similar to this, like songs where it was easy to rhyme FuMP with something, and what we could potentially do to come up with to promote the FuMP. And I'm sure the notion of this song came up at some point, but none of us.
Yeah, I don't remember specifically if it did, but I'm sure it probably did. Because I think FuMP Around for Jump Around was one of them. I know Won't You Take Me to FuMP Town
version
was on there.
Might as well listen to the FuMP.
Yeah, we did. We came up with like 15 or 20. Well, yeah, we want the FuMP. We actually recorded that one.
That's a good one. I like that.
So we came up with like 15 or 20 different like parodies like this, and like we didn't do anything with any of them. We were just tossing around ideas, but yeah, it was fun to brainstorm.
Yeah, it's like not that it was an actual like pun or anything, but for the 500th track, we did. I wrote the parody "We Are the FuMP" to the tune of "We Are the World," and we got virtually everybody who was one of the FuMP artists, made an appearance during that epic song.
It was an epic song.
I'm very proud of how that came out. And then for the 1000th song, we ended up doing a parody of 500 Miles, just because that whole chorus leads up to I would walk 1,000 miles. It's like, well, we posted 1,000 FuMPs, so that's what that song became. So we didn't do anything for the 1500th song, but this would have been a worthy 1500, I'd say.
I'm curious what number this is.
Numbers and just pretend like it was the 1500.
Well, I can tell you, if you give me a minute, I'll tell you what number this is.
That's WrestleMania.
I figure if we hit 2000, maybe I'll do the FuMPty dance or something.
Okay.
Definitely should.
So 12/31/2022. Okay. So let's see.
Stop what you're doing, because I'm about to ruin the syncopated style that you're used to. We rap funny.
This
and
was
we
song
make no money, G.
Right. This was song 1795, so 1795.
Damn, dude.
So
An early 1800.
An early 1800, yeah.
And so I empathize with trying to work, syncopatively difficult things to say, like nuclear bubble wrap, into song lyrics.
To be fair, we didn't fit that in.
We had to get real clever to get that reference in.
Yeah, well, I thought that was funny the way we did it. Yeah, I thought that was funny.
Was our big achievement of the song.
Yeah, that was hard. We had to cut that one in.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to make sure we mentioned the Gothsicle. It
doesn't sound like the Gothsicle. It was hard. I really like the Gothsicles. Name's kind of hard to say.
It is, especially fast. It's hard to say fast.
Yeah, dude, the Gothsicles. Well, I just have trouble talking, especially with the. I'm not good at the.
Are you guys fans of Insane Clown Posse?
I've become a fan over the years. I wasn't in high school because we're from Michigan, so we grew up in the 90s when ICP got their big start, and I was in high school and I was a rock dude. So I just had and I'm a hater, so I hated them for years. But we worked with their producer for some time,
and we're big Mikey Clark fans. So
yeah, so then,
technically
that
because he's a member of ICP at their finest. So we're big Mikey Clark fans.
And recently, I've gone over their whole catalog, and I've become a very, very big fan.
So they put out a couple albums, 2 albums at the same time, both named Bizarre, but they were each Bizarre. So on those albums, there's some songs that they just were improvising in a studio in the middle of the night. So the end of this song reminds me of the end of one of those. It's they're leaving the studio and they keep remembering people they forgot to name check in their song. So so Violent J is at the end. It's also Vampiro and Mikey Clark.
Oh
yeah, I know this.
Yeah, I remember that song. Yeah.
And definitely, when we worked with Mike, it was right after he recorded that double album with them.
Oh, cool.
And he kind of split while they were doing another double album, The Wraith and Hell's Pit. And Mike was working with us at the time. They were doing that with a different producer.
Very cool.
Yes.
Also, want to say in the
Wonders
music
for
video,
us, as you can tell.
oh, sorry.
No, that's cool.
Go ahead, Luke.
I don't. It's not my podcast.
I just want to say in the music video, Devo, I really like the cool editing of. I wrote a song about my schlong and it won a robot cat like that.
Oh, yeah.
Unzipping, reaching in, and then pulling. It's like that was such a great, like perfectly done shot and edited bit. I'm like.
That was all Devo. He told me
Yeah.
exactly how to cut that together. I messed it up a couple times, and we went back and forth. And on the day of releasing the video, I think I finally got the edit the way that we were happy with.
Yeah, the final edit came out great.
I was like, I like all Devo's B-roll. I was like, I've been wanting to do a lot more B-roll. I'm just like not very good at it, like coming up with it.
I actually like for the people home. I know you guys know this. I actually came up with a shot list for what I wanted to do for the video, even though it was fairly simple. I did like the full song as full body, and then medium shot, and then close up shot. And then I had a couple other incidental shots that I needed. Like I needed me reaching down my pants. I needed me pulling out the robot cat statue, which I still have it's right there. I never put it back on my shelf. And then the shots of me sitting at this computer where you can see this monitor over here from over here, where I have like my accounting software up and all the bands listed. You can't see it in the video what it is, but that's what it is. It's my accounting software with all the accounts of the artists listed.
That's what I figured it was, something like that.
And I was.
You can tell you did your practice in it.
Yeah, it took me a few shots to get it. Yeah, you only got the good ones. But I was really happy that we were able to get so many cameos from the people we mentioned in the song.
I mean, that was.
Yeah,
that's
we got
one of my favorite
almost
things about the
everybody we mentioned. Bonnie Gordon and Jeff Whitmire said they were going to get us video and then never didn't get it to us in time. They still haven't. I don't know if they ever plan to, but Bonnie is like the busiest person on the face of the planet, and Jeff is busy doing other things, I guess. And then we didn't hear back from a couple of other people, but like I was like, we're never going to get something from Robert Lund. And he was like the first person to send me video. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Awesome.
From everybody. Like that was way more cameos than I expected. And now I feel like I personally know a lot of these people because of editing them, putting their name underneath them. I specifically know every person that we referenced in the song now. And it was a fun project to kind of dive into the FuMP as a whole.
Yeah, it was great watching this whole project come together, because I was really happy with like the early versions, early mixes of the song, and I was like, this is a good one. I like this one.
Come on, everybody, jump down our FuMP hole.
So yeah, so what are you guys doing next?
Well, the next thing we have planned is we want to be on the 666 podcast of the FuMP. So we are working on finishing the song that we're going to submit for that. It's called She's a Horror. And we plan on having it done in like the next month so we can get it submitted, but it should be ready. And with luck, maybe even we'll get another video ready before the next time we appear on the hopefully 666 episode.
If you tell me when that's going to be, I'll reserve the spot for you.
I believe it's 11 weeks from today.
Okay. I'll have to look at the calendar and figure it out.
Another parody.
Yeah, we got another parody in the works, which will probably come out shortly after that one. We're working on both those songs at the same time.
Cool. Awesome.
I'm telling you nothing about it.
Devo already knows.
Yeah, well, keep it on the download. It's good. It's got to be a surprise. Parody works best that way.
Yep.
Speaking of that, Luke,
So anyway,
I was listening to
like-
the MarsCon dementia things, and I forgot I had missed Steve Goody's set. Hi, Kyle.
Hello. Suddenly, a wild Kyle Carosa appears.
So I completely forgot that I missed Steve's set last year because of the swim meet. And so when he did his parody, If I Could Save Time in a Bottle, completely broke me. That was hysterical. So
Yeah, I think that was a potential Steve Goody and Chris Mezzalesta crossover bit.
Yeah.
Song or whatever.
Yeah, that was fantastic. So Okay, so Dead by 28. You guys have anything you'd like to plug?
Just our Facebook and Bandcamp and our YouTube, all keyword Dead by 28, no spaces.
And our Spotify and our Apple Music.
And go to the FuMP and check out all the other FuMP artists that we've referenced in this song. You won't be disappointed, especially TV's Kyle.
And check out the FuMP on TikTok.
I recommend Apple Feast, as does my daughter.
Oh, yes. It's a good song.
And some Blues Campbell by the great Luke Ski.
Yay!
Awesome. All right, so you guys going to stick around for the rest of the show, or are you taking off?
We'll stick around.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
Disman's like, no, I'm getting out of here.
You didn't put all that makeup on to not stick around.
That's true.
I'm going downstairs.
Okay. All right. Let's do some news.
This is the FuMP.
Hey, Chipotle, all you had to do was melt some cheese into a bowl and turn it into goo. How you messed it up, well, we would never really know. Tu queso no es bueno en mi holy olio.
He whips it out, it goes round and round. They all watch in awe. It hangs all the way to the ground. It cannot be stopped. No one makes a sound, they're hypnotized.
Now the show itself is Walking Dead. Well, I don't want no dead people. Won't want those dead.
That's the Funny Music Project at thefump.com. THEFUMP.com.
Yeah, funk them at 28, we all there. You must be down with the Funny Music Project. Bad Beth is on the Work Quartet is on the Damien's on the
Time for funny music news. Something, something, something.
In the news, Dr. Demento's Funny 25 Countdown was on this past week's show. And we need to give a big congratulations to Worm Quartet coming in number 7 for the year with Brandon. And also because that was the FuMP's sole contribution to the list this year. So.
Yeah. Yep, that's right. One.
The
Funny Music Project had one song on the Funny 25 because, you know, so many boomers in the Facebook group needed to click like on, you know, fish heads and stuff just because they remember that it existed. You know.
They remember again every couple weeks.
Yeah.
Over and over and over.
It really kind of was like listening to the 20th anniversary compilation. Listening to that.
It's a weird full circle thing because when I first started listening to Dr. D back in the mid 90s, you know, every year the Funny 25 would come out and there'd maybe be like 7 songs that were actually from that year. So to me, that would be the most interesting part is seeing, oh, this is kind of, you know, the graduating class. These were the new songs that, you know, really, you know, got people's attention. And then the FuMP started in 2007, and with us cranking out new music, you know, twice a week, so every year Dr. D had, you know, all this new stuff to pick from, we basically turned it into the Funny 25 was typically a half to 2/3 tracks from the FuMP for, you know, a good, you know, 13 years or so there. And then we started the Dr. Demento Show official Facebook page to help out the show, you know, a handful of years ago. And then Facebook decided to change the way they handled the groups so that you didn't have to, they basically, you know, took down like the barrier to get into a group so anyone could just, you know, join up. And suddenly we had literally tens of thousands of more people in the group. And anytime any one of them would be like, does anyone remember a weird song about puppies that were dead? And then, like, you know, 5,000 people all click like.
That's what they sounded like.
Yes, 5,000 people click like on that, and then you know, some awesome song like Apple Feast gets posted. You know, it's like, hey, here's my new song at the FuMP, and then like, you know, a number of the fans post on it, but it's certainly not the 5,000 things that the Puppies That Are Dead post got. So now we've gone full circle to being back to. It's seemingly only about 7 or so tracks this year are tracks that actually came out in the year 2022. And of those, only one of them was from the FuMP.com. And, you know,
Brandon?
In my opinion, Brandon was the best song that came out at the FuMP this year by Worm Quartet. It's
Same.
an
Yeah,
awesome, amazing
absolutely.
song.
Same.
I specifically would put on my Google Calendar the Monday of the, he typically records his shows on Wednesdays. So the Monday of before that Wednesday of the show when the top 10 would happen, I would go to the Facebook group and I would post top 10 request Brandon by Worm Quartet. And I did that for multiple months throughout the year just to try to make sure that this awesome song got the attention it deserved. And basically because I made that commitment to do that, that was how we got the one FuMP song on the Funny 25 this year.
Luke, you need to do that with every song every month. Come on.
No. I mean, I'm sure Dr. D wouldn't get annoyed at all with me posting,
no, not at all.
Posts every month.
If he's annoyed with anyone, it's me.
Not diminish.
Yeah. So Devo, you've had songs that have been the #1 song of the year and the #2 song of the year on the Funny 25,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
A handful of times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
and me too.
#1.
Remember how hard
3 times, and then that 1, 2, 4 year was kind of amazing.
Yeah. And I've had that, I've been #1 5 times. I've been #2 at least one or a couple of times. It's like it's so hard to come up with new comedy songs that people are going to like and really become, make a big impact and everything. I mean, don't you think that's really hard?
It is.
So I want to congratulate Josh Turner on his cover of Plastic Jesus being the second most requested song of the year in the Dr. Demento Funny 25. Lot of effort put into that.
Yay!
Yep. So, I'm thinking of starting my own like Luke Ski bitter posting, page on Facebook, just so every time I have these thoughts that are like bitter and crappy and jealous and basically me being an asshole, I can just go post them there to a private group and just get all this venomy crap out of me.
Make it a live journal.
Journal. Post it on LiveJournal. Nobody will see it.
LiveJournal, I love it.
That way, no one will see it.
No one will see it.
Because people posting diatribes on LiveJournal really does great things for their social status.
If you go look, you can still find my old LiveJournal. I'm not saying you should do it.
Mine is still there.
But I did it.
Yeah, mine's still there too.
Like, shit,
I never took it
still
down
out
or
there.
anything.
Fuck.
So yeah, it's like I do my best to like concentrate on the positives of like looking like, hey, yeah, I know it doesn't seem that way, but it's like, I mean, Randy Rainbow got a track on there. There's been other cool stuff that happened this year, that wasn't at the FuMP in comedy music. So I'm glad some stuff made it onto the Funny 25. But yeah, it is very much just like listening to the 20th anniversary collection 2 CD set, etc. So
I, for one, am not bitter at all about people only wanting to hear the same old frickin' Dr. Demento songs and not wanting to. It doesn't bother me at all. I don't get mad. I'd never post on the Dr. Demento page in a bad way and do things that I shouldn't.
Have you been banned from the group?
No, never.
I can't believe he hasn't. I'm sure Ian might have something to say about it.
Yeah, I've never had conversations with Ian about like, hey, maybe you should not be a dickhead to like old people.
Yeah, calling out the moderators, that always ends well. All right, moving on.
Good.
Because the ultimate irony is that starting the Dr. Demento official Facebook group was my idea.
Way to go, Luke.
I really did not think we were going to go
ruined
there.
it for the
Go
FuMP,
here in this.
Yeah.
basically.
Wasn't expecting this. Enjoy it though.
Okay, there is a new short film out directed by Katie Goodman. It's called The Karens. It's about a support group for women who are actually named Karen. And it's very funny. You can find it on Vimeo. Just do a search for The Karens, and it should come right up. It's only about 10 minutes long. It's an easy watch. It's very funny. So check that out if you get a moment. And that is all the news I got. Luke, do you have any MarsCon news you need to talk about before we move on?
Yes. I just now have to adjust my numbers because you bought a copy of the thing. So yeah, I decided to do some adjustments to the numbers on the goal amounts of the fundraiser, just because I wanted to bring the initial goal amount down. So what I did was take myself out of the equation, so that it's like basically as long as we hit the goal amount and everybody else's rooms is covered, I'll pay for my own room, like fine, whatever. So the initial goal was now brought down to an even $1,200, which makes the first stretch goal an additional $666, and the second stretch goal is an additional $170. But I'm honestly not going to worry about either of those, because I'm just crossing my fingers that we'll even hit the $1,200 by the time the convention gets here in March. So as of right now, we are up to $341 raised as of today, January 5th. And that is 28% of the way to our goal. So that's pretty good for our first week or so of having been launched. So thank you, everyone who has purchased it. And you can all purchase it by going to MarsConComedy.com, click on the shop page, and you can get the collection, which is just under 4 hours of tracks for live excerpts from the concerts of MarsCon 2022. I'm on it. The music guest of honor from last year, TV's Kyle, is on it. Whole bunch of tracks, and also you can get past year's fundraisers by clicking on the past fundraisers page. You can see what the track listings is for all of those. Each of those collections is also $30 each, or if you want to pay $200, you can get all of them at one low price, because that's about 63 hours of content for $200. So all of that is stuff you can do. Please go to MarsConComedy.com and click on the shop page for this year's collection, or click on the past year's fundraisers page for all of that. So thank you, Devo, for ordering.
You're welcome. All right. Tour dates. On Sundays in Nashville, Tennessee, Steve Goody hosting at the Bluebird. On Thursdays online, Steve Goody and Brad Tassel at virtualcomedyshow.com. On the 6th in Hollywood, California, TV's Kyle with Linzilla, Il Nage, The Great Luke Ski, and Bonnie Gordon. Do you want to say anything about that show? That's tomorrow.
Yeah, that's tomorrow, and it turns out neither Il Nage or Bonnie Gordon will be at that show.
So you're stuck with us.
Yeah, us and the lizard woman.
However, if you go, you'll see Luke and I premiere a brand new song that we do together.
Yes.
Ooh, there you go,
and
folks.
You'll get to see me perform the song I posted at the FuMP this week for the very first time live.
And, all right, on the 7th in Nashville, Tennessee, Regdar and the Fighters. On the 13th, online, Carla Ulbrich. And the 13th through the 15th in Virginia Beach, Virginia, Mikey Mason. I believe that's the other MarsCon. All right, birthdays. Coming up tomorrow on the 6th, Adam English of Ookla the Mock. Happy birthday, Adam.
Woo, Adam.
All right. Song number 2, Luke.
What?
Give us a quick intro. We'll give it a listen.
Man, I don't know how to do a quick intro for this. Just basically, it's 2023, and music needs to be written differently now. So this is my attempt at that.
Luke's scared of everything. Here's the song.
Here is Progressive Love Song by the Great Luke Ski.
Excuse me, ma'am. Turns out I am so moved by you for real. With your consent, I'd like to present the way that you make me feel. Oh, yeah. Your intelligence is enchanting. Your creativity so funky. Your razor-sharp wit just cuts me up like a chainsaw-wielding monkey. But if I want to woo you through and through and keep this spell unbroken, I can only use acceptable compliments and leave some things unspoken. If I want to survive in these modern times and protect my social health, if I think you're physically attractive, I best keep that to myself, because this is my progressive love song, darling. My oh so progressive love song.
You always return your shopping cart.
An approved expressive love song, honey. This is my progressive love song.
You have great time management skills.
Your talents are tremendous, and your charisma is exquisite. I'm sorry, this is bugging me too much. I just have to ask, why is it when I say you're smart, kind, fun, creative, compassionate, and more, but then I add you're also astonishingly gorgeous, that negates everything before? Why are they mutually exclusive? I'm no objectifying tramp. Just because I think you look totally lit, I don't think of you as a sexy lamb. Why can't I say you're brilliant and beautiful if both those things are true? Now I can try to continue my argument, or I can try to get next to you, and I pick number 2. This is my progressive love song, sweetie. My oh so progressive love song. You sort your recyclables. Never an oppressive love song, sugar. This is my progressive love song. Girl, I know it's problematic when I call you girl, so please give me a little guidance here. I could say baby, but that's infantilizing. I could say woman, but that might sound like I'm giving you a command, and that's just no. I could say female, but that makes me sound like a space alien, or even worse, an incel. 7,000 years of cis-het men, ruining the world again and again, doing as they want just to slake their thirst. No wonder you look at me and assume the worst. Decades of boomers writing movies and shows where women were just props for the male dude bros. To escape its influence is my resolve. Please believe me, I want to evolve. You're clever, passionate, forgiving, so wise and versatile. And the way you light up every room, it always makes me smile. I can't take it anymore. Please let me get away with one comment on your look, I hope. Can I just this once tell you you're hot without getting the hook? Nope. This is my progressive love song, princess. My oh so progressive love song. You're reasonable as hell. No being repressive love song, pumpkin. This is my progressive love song. All I'm asking is for the least bit of empathy and praise and the benefit of the doubt that I'm actually a decent human being and not a flaming douchebag just because I want to tell you the way you look in that dress makes my heart beat like to energize a bunny hooked up to an arc reactor. I just want to tell you all the ways I think you're absolutely amazing, including the ways that have to do with your eyes, your hair, your smile, and all the other body parts attached to that without you thinking I'm a creepy jerk. Oh, for the love of God, help me, please.
You look really pretty.
And therefore I have value?
No. No, that's not what I meant at all. I was just...
Luke, are you letting your paranoia write songs again?
No! Okay, yes.
That ending is glorious.
That credit where credit is due, that ending where Kyle comes in and asks that was Kyle's idea.
I had a feeling.
While Luke was finishing writing the like little comments that he makes throughout the song.
Yeah, because I got to a certain point where it's like, okay, I have all the main vocals done, and I knew I wanted to have these interjections of other compliments in there, but because I was trying to get the song posted by, midnight Pacific time, I'm like, okay, Kyle, here's the first of the tracks. I'm gonna write some other things. So that's when I came up with all those little interjection things, and then Kyle came up with that idea. So,
and I love those other compliments you came up with. Like, you always return your shopping cart. You sort your recyclables. I mean, those are great.
So the general origin story of this song is that back in late 2018, I had an idea for a song.
Good Lord, is it that far back?
Yes, that was when I first contacted you to say, here's the idea for the song. In early 2019, about February, so I was probably trying to get this done in time for MarsCon at that moment, Kyle made a backing track for me. And obviously I didn't get it done in time for MarsCon, probably just because I was busy doing all the things at that time. But I did consider trying to get it done for FuMPFest, didn't get it done for that either. But during all that time, I was fully intending to do this song. And to me, from the point of view of me and who I am and the meat chassis I'm fused into, I didn't think it was that, outrageous of a song premise. Like, how many songs in the comedy music world are about, like, you know, like
you didn't actually mention what the original song idea was.
Yeah, well, but in a generality, it was just about like I am a, you know, male dude and I'm attracted to a female person or whatever, and this song is about, you know, me being attracted to you and being into you, etc. I mean, like, remember because of that VH1 pilot, everyone did songs about Jennifer Lopez for a while.
Yes. Yeah.
Back in the day. And then, you know, and then there's the songs like Da Vinci's Notebook did the song Heather Graham.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, so yeah, I mean, like that's kind of been, it's almost like its own little niche subgenre of, like Dr. D could do a whole episode of where the topic is dudes singing songs about, you know, these women that they're into, whether they're celebrities or fictional characters or, you know, or songs like Debbie by Throwing Toasters, which obviously Debbie, you know,
Debbie is
goes way over the
satire,
top
obviously, but yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, I didn't think my song was that outrageous of a concept because I was going to talk about, like, you know, every aspect of why I find the person attractive, not just the way they look. But when sharing this idea around with people, I started getting feedback that perhaps I shouldn't do this type of song in, you know, the world of, you know, even back then in 2019. And one of the particular pieces of feedback I got from someone, they basically said that the song didn't seem progressive, and that really stuck in my head, like for the past few years. Just that the notion of, are we? Why? I mean, not that I'm going to go all, you know, MAGA red hat wearing, you know, asshole, but do we really need to be super concerned about whether or not our comedy songs are quote unquote progressive? I mean, they're comedy songs. They're, you know, how progressive are the average Zucker Brothers or Mel Brooks movies? I mean, we know they're not real.
You're not walking the line. What's the point?
Yeah, like I knew what your original concept of it was, and I didn't think it was too bad. Like, we haven't thoroughly gotten into it, but I thought it's fine. But you kept asking permission for it, and like, basically the advice I gave you was like, if you have to ask this much permission for it, maybe don't do it. And so this track, like this backing track, which has been finished for years, just kind of became this cursed track. Like, I tried to do something else with it. Like, there was a song I tried to write for Lindsay's sister's wedding that after I finished writing the lyrics, Lindsay decided it wasn't in good taste. And I'm like, all right, then I won't do it. And so I basically, like, Luke was looking for a new song to have ready for MarsCon, and I was
to
like,
finish my album.
Yeah, and I was like, look, you have this track still. You tried to use it. I tried to use it. Maybe give it one more chance.
So as I've been driving around, you know, even though my mind kept circling back to that original idea I had, I kept thinking about that comment of like, oh, it's not progressive. It's not progressive. And just how that bugged me. Like, I mean, not just comedy songs, but like the whole notion of how many songs in the history of pop music, of rock and roll, are about a dude singing to it like, oh, baby, darling, I want you so. But like, that's been like decades upon decades upon decades of songs. Like, that's the theme. And how concerned were they in making those songs about it being progressive? And did people consider those songs, you know, so bad? I don't think they did. It just, I don't know.
To quote the Beatles, she was 17.
I know.
Yes, not every song has aged well, but
yeah. So, but it just kind of kept gnawing away at me. It's like, you know, why does this song, you know, why do I have to be concerned with my comedy song, especially that's meant to be an R&B slow jam love song? Why do I have to concern about being a progressive? And then there's one, I just messaged Kyle saying like, well, I could do this, or I could do a song about how hard it is to write a love song that's progressive. And then Kyle was like, yes, that's the idea to go with. Go, run with that.
I understand, like, totally.
I think the final product is way funnier than the original one you were going to write.
Can I, like, interject with something that relates?
Yes.
Sure.
When I was working on, I think it was Dead Sexy, there's a line that, like, I say chicks, right? Mm-hmm. There's some line that, like, some chicks like dad bods too. And I was like, should I say chicks? That's probably not that's probably not PC or what, you know, whatever. PC principle. Think about
that song, PC?
Well, no, but like still, when you're a lyricist, you think about things like that, right, Lukeski? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But then my wife was talking, and she used the word chicks. So I was like, fuck it, I'm saying fucking chicks.
Chicks approve of chicks.
Exactly.
Well, it also depends on
you got to not overthink things. That's
yeah. It depends. Context and intention are important. It's like that quote from UHF. Like how many times have I told these guys don't call chicks broads?
Oh my god, I love saying that line. Like I feel like it pops in my head, and I want to say it out loud, and I'm like, no, I shouldn't say that. I love that line.
Lots of chicks
Never
say
say call.
Another word that's like that I'm assuming men invented this word and women have now co-opted it and like they're allowed to say it, but we're not, is friend zone.
Friend zone. Yeah.
Because if guys try to use that word, you'll get, told that you're being, an entitled asshole, blah, blah, blah. But,
you are.
Yeah, because you are. But girls get away with saying that, whenever they want to. So, yeah.
Word. We're taking it back.
Yeah.
To quote Clerks 2, they're taking it back.
Taking back.
I think about that scene too. That's good. So anyway, so another thing about this whole idea behind this song is I'm trying to point out that I think it's frustrating and it's hard to try to remain progressive when the point of what you're trying to do is tell someone how amazing they are, but it's like you want to include the other stuff too, but the popular thing out there seems to be like, well, you can say all these, you can say this category of compliments about a woman, but if you once dare say, you look good, like that negates everything else. That means everything else you just said no longer applies, and you're just an objectifying jerk. And Luke,
I think the reality of it is if you do include those other things, that kind of like makes it a lot easier to give the other compliment. Like basically you want to give a compliment on choices that the person has made, unless you know them well enough to know that another kind of compliment is going to land.
That's what I was just about to say, is that like it depends on your relationship with the person. If you're on a first date and you show up and you say, hey, nice rack, that's not going to fly. But
unless it's a girl who likes that.
Yeah. But I mean, and if but I'm like, if you've been together with a particular person
on the right
for
website, then
15 years, and she likes it when you say nice rack, by all means, it's again, context.
So on top of like the general idea behind all this, I just kind of feel like the past 7 or 8 years we've gone through this social revolution, which is awesome and is, doing all the right things for all the correct oppressed people and helping get past some crap. But occasionally, sometime in the leftosphere, there's some things that are kind of messed up or, contradictory, perhaps even hypocritical. And like, if you try to point it out, especially if you're a, person who is like me, you'll get targeted and as being like the biggest jerk ever, and someone who should be shunned, etc. And I just kind of feel like are we ever going to talk about any of these issues and address them? So one of the things I wanted to use as an example is our awesome friend Grey Delisle, who is the voice of Vampire Warrior from Mighty Magiswords. Amongst every other show from your childhood is in there.
Seriously, pick a show. She's on it.
She's on it. She's on all the shows. So she did this tweet once, and I looked it up the other day just so I could make sure I was quoting it exactly. So here's the tweet. Well,
great job.
There. So this was from October of 2021. She, parentheses, person I'm not attracted to goes in for a kiss, and then me. Consent, 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 in all caps with exclamation points. The next part, parentheses, person I'm attracted to asks for a kiss. She says, me, don't ruin the moment, just do it. So that's her tweet, and she did that, and I'm like, perfect, yes, exactly, Gray, thank you. That's the kind of thing that needs to be addressed and talked about in today's world, because
we live in a society.
Yes, we. We live in a society, Grub.
Oh yeah, I've heard that.
Or anarchy. No, so anyway, she posts that. A whole bunch of people respond to her tweet. Like a bunch of women are really upset that she said that. They're like, "Oh, you can't say that. You can't." Blah, 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 blah. So then her next follow-up says, "To everyone I've pissed off," and then in all caps, "I know this is messed up." So she's not apologizing.
That's
she's
the
like,
joke.
yeah, exactly. That's the joke. So it's like, can we talk about these things? Can we have a discussion? Is it okay can we as adults talk about these things that are weird and contradictory and complicated without the people bringing them up, getting crucified for wanting to even discuss the fact that maybe things, need to have a bit more reasonableness to them.
Well, Luke, there's two things that I will tell you that apply to actually quite a few things. One, the internet should not be mistaken as a cross-section for society. And two, don't go in for arguments where you don't think you're going to change the other person's mind.
That's very true. So, and another thing, a very wise woman.
A third thing. Settle down, Beavis.
Quick aside, Devo, have you watched the new season of Beavis and Butthead?
Oh yeah. Oh God, yeah.
The episode where they're watching the video and Beavis just goes crazy and starts beating the crap out of the TV.
He destroys the TV, yeah, because the guy was complaining the woman wanted sex too much, and he just couldn't process that.
Oh God, that was so peak.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
So basically, it's like there's a lot of these type of things in the leftosphere that I would like to try to tackle in either comedy songs or stand-up comedy pieces, or even in like sketches, like Cirque du So What style or whatever. But again, I live in fear because I made a list once. At least 9 times in my life, people have gone after me online to try to basically post a big diatribe about how I'm a piece of crap and nobody should want to have anything to do with me or my comedy music or do any business with me anymore.
Dude, I write songs about like apples and I still get that.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's like I do believe comedy should evolve. We should figure out a way to, make songs that or make comedy pieces that can talk about these issues, and have it, unite us. But it still feels like there's certain people who are always going to fly off the handle when you even mention anything at all. So
right, that the idea is to ignore those people.
Yeah, there are certain people you will never be able to please, no matter what you do.
Or to try to anger them as much as possible.
Frankly, if you're pleasing everyone, you're doing something wrong.
I mean, I remember for Cirque du So What, Devo, we did a sketch, the sketch that I wrote called Anti-Bullying Campaign. The beginning of the sketch has a kid who's playing with Pokemon cards and he gets bullied. Originally, the way we wrote that sketch was it was a gay kid and the bully was saying very slur-like things at the gay kid because that's what a bully would do.
Yeah.
And then when we were in there recording, we said, you know what? We better record an alternate opening for that because we want to make sure that we're pissing off the correct people with the sketch. Because the overall theme of the sketch was bullies deserve to be killed because they're assholes who deserve to be killed. And not because we're using, like, it's the whole Stephen Colbert cautionary example thing. Like, he pretends to be a pundit on the right side and says horrendous crap, but everyone knows that he's doing it as a fake thing. So
well, everyone except for the Republicans who endorsed him as one of them.
So we just wanted to make sure that, nobody thought that because we used, slur-like stuff at the beginning of the sketch that we were in any way belittling gay people. Like, the whole point of the sketch is to be on their side, you know? So
I think it was
hey,
kind of an
remember the anal rape sketch?
Carrie wrote that.
Carrie wrote that. Yes. Carrie wrote that.
Have you ever heard the Norm Macdonald, Will Ferrell anal rape sketch? That's pretty priceless, too.
I don't think I have.
Norm Macdonald album, the only one he ever put out with sketches.
I like the
Tech
Stephen
Super
Perry
sketch,
work.
which is just legendary.
Ridiculous.
I like the Tech Super sketch, not so much the anal sex.
Yeah, Carrie wrote this sketch, and we recorded it. I think it's on one of the bonus albums. But it was like the whole time we record, I'm cringing. I'm like, we can't put this out.
I mean, the premise of the sketch was like it's some big business board meeting type room, and like, you know, somehow anal rape has been brought into like the structure of the company as some means of.
It's like the next big product. It was like their next big thing they were going to ship.
Yeah, or something like that. So, to be fair, she did write the Staying Fat sketch with me, which was just gold. You know, that was the birthplace of. Which we could barely get through recording.
Yes, that destroyed us. And the outtake for that is on one of the albums.
I so want to do animatics to those outtakes. It's so great. And one more thing I wanted to say about the song in general is me putting the clip at the end of from Spider-Man No Way Home of Peter Parker saying to MJ, "You look really pretty," and then she goes, "For I have value," and he goes, "No, that wasn't meant." It's like, to me, that is like the thesis statement for this song. It's like you can't say anything, or else you're, you know, history's greatest monster. And some people, you know, if I've ever brought that up, have said like, well, yeah, but then she immediately says that she was just kidding, and I'm like, that makes it worse in like two different ways. It's like, one. Who is the person saying this to her? Not like Tony Stark. Like if Tony Stark made some comment to Pepper Potts, like, and said like, you know, "Oh, you look really pretty," and Pepper Potts said, "And therefore I have value." Like, Tony Stark would deserve that because he's Tony Stark, a big womanizer. It's like the guy saying it is Peter Parker. Like, we never saw him try to pick up Thor's hammer, but I bet he coulda, because he's like the kindest, sweetest, most pure heart in the whole freaking MCU, and he's just trying to be nice. And so therefore, it's like, oh, it's and that like whatever it is, like 2 seconds that he's trying to apologize, like in his mind, because I've been there, it's like an infinite eternity of, oh my God, everything's horrible, I've made a huge mistake, like panic attack, you know. So it's just like such a jerky thing to do, even if it's just a joke. And number two, she actually likes him. she just take the compliment, MJ. Oh, so this has been me getting upset over fictional characters.
If she didn't screw them, she wouldn't be MJ.
Yeah. So I just felt like I wanted to stick that in the song somewhere, just to kind of help drive my point home about the whole thing of me trying to explore the notion of, you know, like, you know, here we were all raised by all this content primarily written and produced and performed by boomers, where like, you know, like, hey, let's go watch Revenge of the Nerds. There's some progressive.
Oh God,
you know, it's like
that movie was like, even as a kid watching that movie, I was like, that's not right.
Yeah. or even things like Married with Children. Like, my mom didn't want me watching Married with Children when I was growing up, and because she thought it was gonna, like, you know, be a bad influence on me. And I just kind of wanted to say to her, like, hey, Mom, remember me, like, super genius, you know, special friggin', you know, skipping grades, you know, genius boy here? Yeah, I know these are cautionary example characters. I'm laughing because I know what they're doing is bad. It's like, I am not, the point of me watching the show is not to emulate Al Bundy. It's to laugh and say, haha, look, this was probably the birth of the men's rights activist movement on Married with Children. They started an organization called
No Ma'am. Yep.
The National Organization of Men Against Amazonian Mastery. And their shirts were the white t-shirts with the circle and the line through the female symbol. Like, and it was such a farcical, ridiculous thing. Like,
yes, it's supposed to be pathetic, fellas.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, Mom, I get that this is not the way to act. So,
hold on. You mean I spent my whole life trying to be Grandmaster B? And it was not a role model.
So basically, it's like I'd like to think I was above it all, but I'm sure on some levels I was influenced by all of this pop culture. So I'm trying to move past it and evolve and be a decent guy, and hopefully find another person who would potentially date a person like me, and do all the right things and be a good supportive type person. And I'm just struggling, and it would be nice to know that I won't get thrown into a volcano for making a mistake. So
I'm
that's
married.
what this
I've
song
been
is all
doing
about.
the same thing, so I understand.
So I just wanted to say I absolutely adore the bridge of this song where you say girl. I know it's problematic when you call you girl. I could say baby. I could say woman. That sounds like I'm giving you a command. I could say female, but that makes it sound like a space alien or even worse, an insect. That was fantastic. But I have to ask you, why did you say space alien instead of Ferengi?
Ferengi.
Dude, that was literally like in my head. Like I was gonna say Ferengi, and I'm like, it's the word I want, but just from the point of view of if I get if I'm playing this on like Dr. D and they aren't down with it being the 30th anniversary of Deep Space Nine and everything right now, they aren't gonna know what I mean by Ferengi. Like if it were Klingon or some other Star Trek thing that's much more common knowledge, I just don't think everybody in the world knows what a Ferengi is and would get the connection between Ferengi and calling someone a female. But then I was thinking back to like other sci-fi stuff, or even like like the Coneheads. It's like you are the female, or whatever. Yeah. It's like
So you're saying you
don't
didn't
know
make that
Ferengi.
choice to make it for a broader audience? I don't mean broad like that. I don't mean broad like that.
But I think more people might know. I think more people might know Ferengis than you're giving them credit for, because there's a subreddit called 2X Chromosomes, which is like a women's issues type subreddit, and they were talking about men who call women females, and some woman on there posted like, God, every time somebody says females, all I can think of is the Ferengi saying it. And I just replied to her saying, filthy humans always putting clothing on their females.
Nice. And something that happened this
How
past
many
year,
people
once
are here?
again.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5, yes.
1 out of 5 people don't know what a Ferengi is.
Oh, okay. All right. You'll have to show them later.
So, do you remember any of the aliens from Deep Space Nine who are kind of brownish colored or brownish orangish colored, and they have like these huge ears, like and they're always trying to sell stuff. They're all about money. So
those are the Ferengi.
Anyway, so what was the thing I was just going to say? Oh, Ferengi. Speaking of feminism and Ferengi and Great Lyle, this season 1 of Star Trek Prodigy, because it's been a few years since we've seen what's been going on in the Prime universe, and the last time we left the Ferengi, Rom had become the Nagus, and basically laws had been changed in the Ferengi culture that women were allowed to wear clothes and to start doing business and all this stuff. So we cut to a handful of years later, and now we meet a character named Damon Nandi, who's voiced by Great Lyle, and she has her own ship and she's flying around like doing stuff. And I was just kind of like, for the first time in 23 years, we get to see how Ferengi culture has advanced, and we have a woman here flying around her own ship and doing business. It's like, yeah, Ferengi! They're being progressive! Woo! Now women can rip off people just as much as men can.
Yes. I wonder if the women have their own rules of acquisition. Or
So yeah, I have at least one more song I'm going to do for the album Needlessly Meta, which I will be debuting that song at my concert at MarsCon, and if all goes the way it should, I'll be releasing my 12th album, which is my first album in over 8 years, called Needlessly Meta, and it'll have all of the tracks that I've posted at the FuMP that aren't cover songs. Since the last album came out in 2014. So So all of the people dying for another piece of physical media from me will finally be able to get one.
Yay.
Yes, Sean, do you have a question?
My name's Chris.
Nope.
Yep, you got them mixed up.
Oh, wait. Oh, on my screen, like in the corner where it says Sean Shaheen, it's like Sean is right under Chris. So that's why
it's Devo's fault.
If we put it,
No, it's Zoom's fault. I had nothing to do with that.
That I'm one of the people that are like dying for the new Lukeski stuff.
Say that again.
I'm one of the people who are dying for the new Lukeski album.
Bring on new Lukeski.
Yes. Well, it will be available at MarsCon, and then I'll make it online, available at Bandcamp and all the other places as quickly as I possibly can. Yeah.
Luke, in closing, I want to say that I think this is a lovely song, and on the attractive Cree scale, I think it's a birch.
All right.
Did you get that, Devo?
I did.
I didn't hear the sound.
Written it down.
Oh, God damn it. No, I didn't. Let's do the thing. Yeah. Yeah, see, I completely forgot that that's what the title was. So well done, Kyle.
It seems to happen every time I actually try to do one of these.
We're late in the show, and it's just, All right. Anything else, or are you done?
I'm done.
Okay.
Yeah, MarsCon, go to MarsConComedy.com for all the info on that. I'll be there. TV's Cobb will be there. Devo Spice will be at a swim meet.
Probably.
And our music guest of honor is Bonnie Gordon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so you can get all the information there at MarsConComedy.com, as well as the aforementioned fundraiser album. So please help us out and get that.
All right. Let's do some feedback.
Making the internet absolutely ridiculous. Dementia Radio.
www.dementiaradio.org. Port 8027.
Please hang up and try again.
This is the part where there's feedback. Feedback. That segment of the show we do about now.
Feedback.
Feedback.
Alvarant wrote, "Happy New Year to all the Fumpers out there. Let's hope this year we can find a new normal that we can live with." Very much agree, Alvarant. And that's all the feedback we got. So...
Teasing. He's a teasing kind of guy. Now you have a job.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's song is by Bob Lazar Atwood. And Tuesday's song is by the Belle Isle Rats.
Woohoo!
All right, now I need a topic for our Spotify playlist of the week. Dead by 28. Any suggestions?
FuMP artists.
FuMP artists? I can do that. It'd be easy. Cool. All right. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Any things you want to plug, not music related or anything?
Have you seen the Evil Dead Rise trailer?
Yes.
Red Band.
Yes.
It's amazing. I thought of you when I saw it. I figured you'd appreciate it as well.
Yeah, you know what's stupid? I haven't seen the 2013 Evil Dead yet.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that either.
Yeah, it's just like when it first came out, I was like, I don't want them to remake Evil Dead, and I just didn't go see it. And then, like, years later, I heard people online talking about it, how it was really good, and I was like, oh, maybe I should have seen it. So yeah, I need to.
Ash vs. Evil Dead. I think they were more open to the idea of, okay, we know what Ash is doing now. Let's see what the remake was about.
Yeah. So yeah, Ash vs. Evil Dead was fantastic too. But yeah, so I need to watch that before Evil Dead Rise comes out. And I'm really excited to go see Megan. I'm probably going to go see this weekend because that looks freaking great.
Look at that.
So, all right. Do you have something?
Can I plug some stuff?
Yes, go plug.
So I want to throw another plug towards the podcast Escape from Vault Disney. I know I mentioned this last week. At least I'm pretty sure I did. The most recent episode is for the Arendelle Castle Yule log, and I don't want to give away what happens in it, but it is glorious. I've listened to it 3 times. The last time during my third time, I just started laughing so hard I had to call or I had to like leave Tony a voice message over Skype just of me convulsing laughing at how funny the things in that episode that he said and that happened were just making me laugh so hard. So if any of you remember back to the old school days of Dementia Radio when Tony did a show called The Looney Bin, this is the most Looney Bin-like thing that's happened since the Looney Bin. And I'm in it, and Tony's in it, and other people are in it, and so please go check out Escape from Vault Disney for the episode Arendelle Castle Yule log. And just this week, he posted a bonus thing of some outtakes from that episode, so it's another 13 minutes of wackiness. So go to escapefromvaultdisney.libsyn.com. That's Libsyn. escapefromvaultdisney.libsyn.com. Arendelle Castle Yule log. And then, me and Kyle and Lindsay will be at the Hollywood Nerd Night show at the Ren Theater tomorrow night. That will be Friday night at 10 p.m. So if you can get $10 tickets for $10 in advance if you buy them online through Eventbrite, or they'll be $20 at the door. I've already plugged MarsCon things. What was the other thing? Oh, Kyle asked me, he had to go do a thing because he's about to come back and we're going to record the Tunes podcast for this weekend. But he wanted me to plug the animatic for Ground Keith and Miss Citrus, which is a kind of a pilot episode for a cartoon he's been pitching around. Nickelodeon was very interested in it for a while, and then they ended up going with some other person's pilot, but nonetheless, it was still it's awesome. It's hilarious. Please go check it out. Basically, go to YouTube and do a search for Ground Keith. That's Keith. Ground Keith and Miss Citrus. In Dork Fried Rice, and that would be at the YouTube page of what the hell? What happened there? The YouTube page of Kyle A. Carosa. So go check that out. Anything else I wanted to plug? I think that was it. So yeah, and then of course me, the Great Luke Ski. Go to thegreatlukesky.com to find out things about me and links and stuff like that, and then my music is all at lukeski.bandcamp.com, and I'm on all the social medias. Pretty much all of them have the handle at the Great Luke Ski. So there you go.
Alrighty, let's get out of here. Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. I'm Devo Spice.
I'm Luke Ski. Look, and there's Dead by 28.
Dead by 28.
Evil Dead by 28.
Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. You can listen live every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific at DementiaRadio.org and join us in the chat. Or subscribe to the podcast feed. Look us up on iTunes and be sure to leave us a review. Feedback for the show can be sent to info@thefump.com. The Funny Music Podcast is a production of Fidem Interactive, LLC, released under a Creative Commons share-alike license. Tell your friends. Tell your enemies. Shout it to random people on the street. And be sure to visit thefump.com for the latest funny songs. Tune in next week where you'll hear Luke Ski say,
Gotta sign up for the email.